Yeah, simply ball dropping. What's up, family? K-Sap, we up! Ain't no stopping. I'm simply ball dropping like it's New Year's Eve, making you haters believe I'm the MVP. Ask Mr. V and R&B, they do all sports, whether it's on the field or the court, from the arena to the ring. What? You wanna swing? I rope a dope like the one on this boxing thing. That's a punchline. I'm the greatest of all times. Got something on your mind? Hit us up on the line for that round table talk. Ask B Hunt and Sheena and K-Sap too for their views on our dudes. Marriage Chronicles for you lovers. Oh, I'm married to the game. The championships, the only time I wanna ring. K-Sap, the man behind the mic. Check 1, 2. It ain't a rap until I say it's a rap. Just fall through, pull up the hottest pod smoking. Yeah, I got you open. This freestyle brought to you by James Ford. Paid promotion. Yeah, simply ball dropping. You know what time it is. Pull up, chop it up with your family, man. K-Sap, what up?
And now, your host of the Simply Ball Droppin' Podcast, the man behind the mic, K-Sap.
This episode is sponsored by True Choice Insurance. Here at True Choice, we take a different philosophy when it comes to providing you with your insurance options. We emphasize the value of the products we offer, instead of playing on the fear of you not being protected in your time of need. True Choice is affiliated with more than 60 insurance companies. This makes us one of the most independent agencies in the state of Texas. Please visit TrueChoiceInsurance.com for all your insurance needs.
Yo, what's good, everybody? What's good? Welcome to another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm the host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. Like I always say, we're not no one-trick pony. We cover sports, hot topics, roundtable discussions, relationships. We do it all. Appreciate everybody that's subscribed to the channel. And I do appreciate and show all the love to the new subscribers that have joined the journey. I appreciate you. I see all your comments. I see your likes, hashtag salute. So if you come across this video, give it a thumbs up. Please press the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Please turn on your post notifications so you'll get an indication when Simply Ball Dropping drops another hot banger. And I appreciate everybody that's rocking with me. I appreciate all my supporters, all my sponsors. Like I said, we can't do it without you. On today's show, we got some things we want to talk about. Yesterday in the NBA, it was the trade deadline. The trade deadline was 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It was a lot of trades that was made. And one trade that went down was the Russell Westbrook trade. But outside of that, I don't want to talk about too many trades. I want to talk about how they are throwing Russell Westbrook's name in the fire. This guy, ever since he was traded to the Lakers last year, everybody knew when the trade went down. A lot of media outlets, a lot of people, including myself, said that that probably wouldn't work because of the way Russell Westbrook plays the game of basketball. He's like a solo act. He puts up great numbers. He does a lot of great things on the court, but his style of play would not fit with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. They tried to work things out this year. Things just wasn't happening. And then they finally figured it out with Darvin Ham convincing Russell Westbrook to come off the bench. And he was thriving in that role. He was thriving in that situation. But the situation got to a point where they still wasn't winning games. He was thriving in the situation. Things just wasn't happening. So let's go back to last year when things really wasn't, taking off because Anthony Davis was injured in and out of the lineup. LeBron James was injured in and out of the lineup. And like LeBron always say, you got to log minutes. You have to log minutes. And they couldn't log minutes because of the fact that guys was in and out of the lineup. Russell Westbrook led the league in turnovers last year. He was shooting a low percentage. And there was this notion that, Russell Westbrook turned into Russell Westbrick. It was a lot of slander being thrown out there with Russell Westbrook's name. And it got to a point where a lot of media outlets started talking about that. And the main focus was Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless has this notion of doing a lot of things to the athlete, especially the black athlete, and shaming them. If it comes down to Tom Brady, he does none of that shaming on Tom Brady. He always runs to Tom Brady's defense. But in this situation, he had a lot of things to say back on his podcast about the use of Russell Westbrick. And let's take a listen to what Skip Bayless had to say in that situation when it regards to the name Russell Westbrick.
Am I shaming your family name, Russell Westbrook, or are you? It's about the most basic basketball component, shooting the basketball. He shoots, he bricks. He's Westbrick. I've been doing it to him just the way everybody's been doing it to him for what seems like forever. He hasn't gotten better at shooting threes or free throws. He's gotten worse and worse and worse. The worst three-point shooter in basketball last year, the fourth worst free throw shooter in basketball last year. The truth is, I don't care who's on my side, pro or con, as long as I believe I'm speaking the truth. And in this case, the term Westbrick it isn't a personal shot. It's not an insult. It's not a slur. It's just a bullseye of a shot at Westbrook's jump shot. Bottom line, Russell Westbrook is an extreme.
Now, see there, y'all heard what Skip Bayless had to say. Now, you see what Skip tried to do there. He tried to flip it. He tried to say it wasn't a personal shot. He said he's just speaking the truth. But what Skip doesn't realize is you're slandering that man's name. And it comes to a point where his name is Westbrook, not Westbrick. Now you got people in the media and also fans and also people in the outside world referring to him as Russell Westbrick. This is something you started. You go back to the days that you was on Cold Pizza, the narrative about LeBron, no clutch gene. Lee Clutch. You started that narrative. You started that, and you started talking about that, and that's how you was making your money. You was making your money by going after one of the biggest athletes in sports, in the NBA, and LeBron James, and you kept that narrative going. And you still using that narrative. You're running out of material. And I've always said LeBron has made you your money through your career. Because without LeBron, right now, you wouldn't have no material to talk about. So now you want to turn it on to Russell Westbrook. The things that you say about Russell Westbrook is, egregious, man. And you're slandering the family name. And the family has took exception to that. His wife has came out and said some things to you that are egregious, and she's replied back to you, and she has included you in her Twitter. But you don't respond to your Twitter things. You probably read it. You have no followers. You just put everything out there. And when people at you, you probably don't even look at it. But at the same time, that is pure D slander. And it was taking its toll on Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook had spoke plenty of times in the media that, things are, it's getting out of hand. Like, that is his name. That is his kid's legacy. They carry that name. So it took a toll on Russell Westbrook last year, and he addressed it. And this is what Russell Westbrook had to say.
It never really bothered me, but it really kind of hit me the other day. Honestly, I was, me and my wife was at teacher-parent conference for my son. And the teacher told me, she's like, Noah, he's so proud of his last name. He writes it everywhere. He writes it on everything. He tells everybody, he walks around and says, I'm Westbrook. Westbrook, that's the last name. And I kind of sat there in shock, and it hit me like, damn, like I can no longer allow people, for example, Westbrook to me is now shaming, like it's shaming my name, it's my legacy for my kids. Once it starts to affect my family, my wife, even today, my mom said something about it today, and it affects them even going to games. Like I don't even want to bring my kids to the game because I don't want them to hear people calling their dad nicknames and out of their names for no reason because he's playing the game that he loves. And it's gotten so bad where, my family don't even want to go to home games, to any game, because of, not just the media.
Now that's right there, when it gets to a point where it's affecting your whole family, where you can't even bring your kids to the basketball game to enjoy watching their father do something that he loves, and that is his means of financial security for his family. And as far as his parents, you can't even come to the game. I remember days when he played with OKC. His mother and father was at every game. They would show his mother and father in the stands. And now it's gotten to a point where the slander of the Westbrook name has got to a point where he don't even feel comfortable bringing his family to the game, let alone his children. Now, if you go back to the history of the NBA, players that have kids, they always had their kids on the sideline with them. You go back, you look at the Currys. Dale Curry played, always had his kids with him on the sideline. You go back when LeBron first started, when he had his kids on the sideline. You go back and look at Chris Paul, his kids on the sideline. So it's to a point where when you start shaming somebody's name, that's that relevant in sports to get a story, to get a narrative out there, and people are going with that narrative, it's egregious. The slander of Russell Westbrook needs to stop. It's okay for you to criticize and critique, but when you're going too far now, and Skip has crossed the lines. He's always telling people on his show that you've crossed the lines. No, Skip, you have crossed the lines. And I've told people about Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless is borderline. I don't want to use the word, and I'm not going to use it, but y'all get what I'm trying to say. He's borderline, and somebody needs to put a stop to this. It's unfortunate that Skip has been a journalist and a media and covering sports for this long. He's been called out on several occasions, but he always likes to flip the script and always acts like he's a victim. And he's always saying, I'm telling the truth. It's okay to criticize somebody, but when you start slandering somebody's name and you start coming for the legacy of their kids, and the kids gotta, listen to this when they look at the news, they look at sports, why are they doing my daddy this way? That's a lot for a kid to bear. And it's come to a point that it's affecting the family. So now let's fast forward to today. So yesterday, like I stated earlier in the show, that the trade deadline approached. Russell Westbrook was traded. Now, there was reports that, if they could get a deal done, they would do the deal. But if there wasn't no deal out there, Russell Westbrook was going to remain a Laker until the offseason. Then you can move on from there. But now it's to a point where he had to be removed. That relationship was becoming toxic, and the writings was on the wall, like I stated previously. The altercations that he's had with Darvin Ham, the on-court altercations at halftime with the coaching staff, Phil Handy. Things just reared its ugly head. So the night that LeBron has a chance to make history, and history went down, like I stated, Russell Westbrook and Darvin Ham had to be separated in the locker room because of the verbal altercation. Now the trade goes down, and this is what we're hearing now. Take a listen to what Dave McMenamin said on NBA Today on the trade deadline show. Listen.
Well, this was the time to do it. Russell Westbrook was not going to be part of the team after this summer when his contract expired. And also when his contract came off the books, the Lakers would have less money to deal with in the free agency period this summer. So you had to do it if you wanted to get those pieces you could have part of the team moving forward. You get younger, you got shooting, you got switchable defenders. And as one source told me, you remove a vampire from the locker room. That meaning a vampire sucks the blood out of the locker room. Russell Westbrook moves on.
A vampire out of the locker room.
Wow, that is egregious right there to label this man as a vampire. Dave McMenamin said one source. I would like to know who that source was. I would like to know who that source was that called Russell Westbrook a vampire. Then there was rumblings after the show as a fact when he got traded to Utah, that Utah was going to buy him out of his contract and he would probably, go play with the Clippers. And then they were saying he would probably be a bat just flying down the hallway because, the Clippers and Lakers share the same home. That is egregious. It has to stop. And they are taking it too far. And for them to say that, and Dave McMenamin covers a lot of post-game conferences after all Lakers games. And at the same time, he is stating that a source said that Russell Westbrook was like a vampire. And the backlash from that was Russell Westbrook's wife got wind of that, and she wasn't pleased. And she came out and she stated that, she's not going for that. She got Russell Westbrook's back. His wife came to his defense, and this is what she had to say. She said, "This is sick, ESPN. Russell is no vampire. This is also slander because anyone who knows anything knows that this couldn't be further from the truth. On a personal note, I have school-age children who have to listen to their peers repeat the nasty things that you guys say on television about their father. I guess I will prepare myself to explain to my 5-year-old that his dad is not actually a vampire. And the major news outlets only say things like that to get attention." And she added Dave McMenamin and ESPN and Skip Bayless. So what that says is she has her husband's back, and she is absolutely correct. She is absolutely correct because of the fact that how can you sit there and say that this man is a vampire? That is so egregious, and that is out of line, and it has to stop. That is a situation that shouldn't have been aired on TV. You don't use words like that. And I just don't understand how you can sit up there and say that. I know Russell Westbrook's time in LA hasn't been the one that he hoped for, a homecoming back to his hometown. Things just didn't go well. But to constantly slander this man's name, take shots at his name, and like he stated, that's the legacy for his kids. And like his wife said in her soliloquy, is now she has to explain to her 5-year-old son that her father is not actually a vampire. That is absolutely tasteless, classless, and sometimes the media goes too far, and the media tends to get away with things that the normal person doesn't get away with. So some of these people that are on television, they need to watch what they say. It's to a point where I feel as though they didn't even make things better for Russell Westbrook's time in LA. When he was down and out, y'all just pouring dirt on him. Y'all pouring dirt on him. That stuff needs to stop. And I'm glad that, his wife spoke out. I'm glad that his wife put that out there, because it's unfortunate that you never see the camera being shown on the family of Westbrook because the family is not in attendance. They're watching the games from home because you can't even bring your kids to the game because of the fans chanting Westbrook. It was a narrative that was started by Skip Bayless, but Skip Bayless went back to say that started in 2012. You picked the heat up last year and you made it relevant, and people got wind of that, and in the stands, people booing Westbrook. They were just pouring it on. So me as a man, if I was a ball player and you're slandering my name, and I have a young child like that is happy about the Westbrook name, the name that they bear on the back, like Russell Westbrook stated in his soliloquy, it'll be hard to bring my kid to the game as well. So that must stop. The slander must stop. Russell Westbrook is out of LA. Now I want to know what they're going to talk about now. He's removed the situation. He's gone. So there's no reason to even talk about it. Let this man live. Let this man decompress. Let this man move on. We got to stop slandering this man's name. The media is so egregious, man. And at this time, it's just sad, man. So guys and girls, man, y'all let me know what y'all think. Leave your comments down in the comment section. Make sure you like the video. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Pass this video on. And like I always said, man, I appreciate everybody that's tuned in. I appreciate everybody that's rocking with the podcast. We're doing big things. And like I said, please turn on the post notifications so you'll understand and know when Simply Ball Dropping drops another hot banger. And like I always said, man, we're going to catch you on the next one. Once again, I'm K-Sap, man behind the mic of the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. And that's a wrap. We'll catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.